There are four metaphysical natures available to players of the Tall Tales RPG, and these are Ghost, Lesser Spirit, Lesser Fae, and Nature Spirit. Ghosts are basically what you think they are. They are dead humans that have not crossed over. Their spirits remain in the metaphysical realm, but they have not yet crossed over to the other side. And there is an other side in Tall Tales. It's shown in Volume 1 and discussed a bit in Volume 2, but basically there is a place that the spirits of the dead go after the metaphysical realm that no one in the setting really knows anything about. They don't know what's over there. They don't have any recollection of anyone ever coming back from there. They don't really seem to have any information at all. And so that whole thing about crossing over is a thing that happens that is apparently irreversible. But ghosts are the remnants of human beings that have died that remain in the metaphysical realm. Now, only humans or empaths can become ghosts. Nephilim, anchors, warlocks, changeling, cryptids, none of them become ghosts. And this is because of the nature of how they exist in relation to their metaphysical selves, or if they have metaphysical selves. That doesn't necessarily mean that these people are just gone when they die, that if they die, they just cease to exist. Presumably, which isn't really explored in the story, if we're honest, but it is assumed that people like Nephilim and anchors and stuff like that, when they die, they immediately cross over and just don't become ghosts. Because not everyone does become a ghost. We actually have characters that we see die in Tall Tales and then do not hang around in the metaphysical realm. And so not everyone becomes a ghost. The ghosts are only those people who did end up sticking around for some reason or another. They do run into problems. Ghosts are described in Tall Tales as being inherently obsessive, that this is an element of being a ghost, an inherent part of being a ghost, and that this obsession over this long period of time can come to define them in a way that erodes their humanity, and they can become something twisted and something strange and something very unrecognizable compared to their earlier selves, their living selves. Now, each of the other spirits are degrees of separation from elementals, basically. Nature spirits are essentially elementals. They are composed of their element. They have incredibly powerful magic related to their element, but they cannot cast magic outside of their element. So a chaos elemental, a nature spirit that's aligned with chaos, they are infused with chaos energy, they are composed of chaos energy, and they can only cast chaos magic. They cannot cast any other types of magic, but the chaos magic they can cast is very powerful. Some examples of nature spirits would be things like the spirit of a specific tree, or of a river, or of water in general, or salamanders, which are fire spirits, or things like that. Lesser spirits are a step removed from elementals. They are spirits that are aligned with a specific element, but they are not composed of it, and they have access to a slightly broader range of power. So things like Nagas or demons or whatever. These are things that are aligned with an element, like Naga. In all the Naga we've seen in Tall Tales so far have been water spirits. All the demons we've seen so far have been fire spirits. There may be alternates to that in your game, and that's fine. Lesser spirits are associated with elements. That is, they live in an element or they are connected to an element, but they're not composed of that element. They may live in water and in water magic, and they have water magic available to them, but they are not composed of it. They are not innately tied to it in the same way that a nature spirit is. Finally, lesser fae are spirits that are kind of tangentially related to elements. They are tied to one or two elements, but really they are mostly tied to ideas about elements. So things like Castor. Castor is a faun. He is tied to life magic and probably something else. It's not entirely clear. He's not been explained in that way. But he clearly isn't just like a life elemental. He's just a woodland spirit that lives in the woods and does his sort of thing and hangs out with nymphs and annoys Madison. But he's not a bastion of life magic. He just is a woodland spirit, basically. That makes him a lesser fae. So he has access to life magic and some other magics that are related to life, but it's not entirely clear if he has another element or not, but he very well could. And if you wanted to make a faun in your game, you could have them tied to multiple elements and just call it a day. Now, one of the tricks with playing in this system is that if you want to have a party that has mixed, so physical natures and metaphysical natures, you need to have some way for them to interact. And that's not always easy. But each of these four ghosts, lesser fae, lesser spirits, and nature spirits have the ability to be, close enough to the hedge that people who have the ability to look into the metaphysical realm can be aware of them, and they, if they have certain magic available, can look into the physical realm and maybe even cross some barriers. And so that's part of the reason that these 4 natures are specifically chosen to be player characters, is that there are ways to actually have these natures interact with the physical natures, although it does take some work. Now, I just did a live stream last night in which I finished up a part of the traits and talked about some other things with the elements and everything. And so I encourage you to check it out whenever I go live here at Twitch. Our username is Rabbit Haberdashery. You can also find us on YouTube as Rabbit Haberdashery. That's the channel for my gaming group that I'm part of that raises money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals, but also is the channel that I've been using to explore the process of making this game. So I would encourage you to check those videos out, as well as the rest of the ones I'm going to be doing here. And when I go live, hang out and take part in the production of this game. Thank you very much.